So this upcoming Spider-Man movie is starting to look a little crowded, if I'm going to be honest with you. But hey, we're going to talk about everything from the Hulk, apparently in this movie now, for some reason. Tombstone the villain, Mr. Negative the villain. Who's the villain? We don't really know. Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. If you guys are new, please do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything, helps a brother out, especially in these economic times. Your free subscription clicking and joining the channel and just being a free subscriber is actually going to help this fat guy a lot, especially when it comes to getting more iced coffee. But some news has broken, and I want to talk about the upcoming Brand New Day. And there, like I said, there's some news that broke, and I haven't talked about it yet. But I first heard this news over on Christian Harloff's channel. He broke it on his podcast, and I can't remember if Roca and Jeff Snyder broke it and told him, but I first heard this news coming from the Christian Harloff channel. I haven't heard no outlets or trades talk about this. Then John Campea talked about it the other day. So it looks like it's guaranteed that the Hulk will be in the upcoming Spider-Man Brand New Day. And not only that, Christian Harloff actually went a step further and said it's not going to be Professor Hulk. It's going to be the Rage version of Hulk. Like some people are running with Savage Hulk. I haven't heard none of that confirmed. I heard it's just going to be the Hulk is back to normal. Like he's back to being enraged and unstoppable and all that stuff. That's what I heard. And then there's like tons of other news going around about the different villains. I'm hearing so many different villains. I'm hearing Scorpion, I'm hearing Tombstone, but the one I heard the most, the one I feel like makes the most sense is of course Mr. Negative. The reason why that makes the most sense is if you read comic books, the Brand New Day comic book line, when they decided to split MJ and Peter in the comics after One More Day, after they did that whole thing and they started the Brand New Day kind of like soft reboot of the character, the main villain that they introduced, which was an original villain at the time, was Mr. Negative. And since then, Mr. Negative has showed up in the Sony video games, and he's sort of becoming a more top tier villain in the Spider-Man universe. To me, if you're going to title your movie Brand New Day, and if you guys seen No Way Home, even though No Way Home wasn't one for one a recreation of One More Day, it definitely took a lot of elements from the One More Day comic, except for it didn't have Aunt May getting shot. We did know Aunt May, something did happen to Aunt May if you saw the movie, and it did end with Peter and his version of MJ kind of like splitting and not remembering and stuff. They took a lot of elements from the One More Day comic and Spider-Man No Way Home. So when they decided, hey, we're going to title the next movie Brand New Day, I was one of the ones that was like, okay, I'm super excited. This can mean something very big for this character because we left No Way Home with finally getting that grounded Spider-Man that I think we all wanted, right? Like he's by himself, he's in this crappy apartment, he's doing what Spider-Man was meant to do, and it took 3 films to get up to that point, and then we did. And so, in my opinion, Mr. Negative is the top guy. Now, if you want to add Tombstone to the mix, because right now, well, not right now, but previous in the past couple years, Tombstone was a big player in the comic books, especially with the gang war storyline going on. If they want to do some kind of storyline where you have Tombstone doing the gang war thing, and maybe Mr. Negative's on the opposite side of that gang war, and then you want to throw in Matt Gargan, the Scorpion, into that, because when we were introduced to Gargan in the new movie universe, he's not the guy with the scorpion tail or any of that. He is a thug and gang member, which that's the way he was portrayed inside inside the Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man comic books. Right, when Scorpion made his Ultimate Spider-Man comic debut, when Matt Gargan was introduced, he was a crime boss. And if they want to go that route and I have the ridiculous tail and everything, then I'm perfectly fine with this movie sort of being like a ground zero to basically the gang war storyline that we've gotten in the past couple years in the comic books. And you throw, Mr. Negative, Tombstone in the mix, and Matt Gargan, it would make a lot of sense for this movie. And I'm also hearing rumors of Punisher being heavily in this movie. So that would also make sense if you have this entire gang war going on. Well, the Punisher would also be involved. Punisher teamed up with Spider-Man plenty of times in the comic book. Issues 129 of Amazing Spider-Man, issue 129, was the first appearance of the Punisher ever. So the Punisher debuted in the Amazing Spider-Man comic books when the Jackal hired the Punisher to take out Spider-Man, and of course Punisher found out like the truth that Spider-Man was a good guy and everything like that. So his roots go back to Amazing Spider-Man, so it makes sense the Punisher would be in it. The thing that I keep circling around about is, where does the Hulk fit in? Why is the Hulk in here? Do we need the Hulk? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. There's two elements I keep hearing from people that don't make a whole lot of sense. One is Mayday Parker being involved in it. Apparently, Sadie Sink, who is in the Stranger Things, she's gonna play Mayday Parker. Where does that come in? Apparently, this is gonna be Tobey Maguire's daughter. Where does the whole multiverse thing fall in? It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense if you're doing a gang war story. Where does the Hulk fit in? Doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm hearing that Bruce is gonna be like a mentor to Peter. That brings up his own plethora of different questions, like, oh, why is Bruce his mentor? Like, at the end of No Way Home, no one knew who Peter was. How, like, why, like, does Peter really need another mentor? Is this gonna be like a Captain America Brave New World situation where, you know, Ross is like raging at the end and Peter has to take him out? Is the Hulk, or Sam takes him out, not Peter, but is the Hulk gonna rage at the end and then Peter's got to take out the Hulk? Like, I don't want to see a reenactment of New World, Brave New World. I just don't want to see that. I think one of the problems with Brave New World was the fact that the Red Hulk was in the movie. He should have never been in the movie. There should have been like Baron Zemo or some Captain America villain, and they put in Red Hulk, and that was really like the oddest thing about that movie. Like, why is Red Hulk in here? I'm fine, Ross is in here, but why is Red Hulk in here? Red Hulk belongs in like Thunderbolts or something like that. So just to bring in the Hulk for a Spider-Man movie, that just throw me off. I don't mind Bruce Banner being there, but then again, you have to explain, how does he know who Peter is and Spider-Man, because you kind of wiped out everybody's mind. It just brings up more questions, right? I think this movie would be very well done if they stick to the grounded level of Spider-Man. You do the gang wars with Tombstone, Mr. Negative, Matt Gargan. You bring the Punisher in, and there was even the actress who plays in the Bear. I believe she's Puerto Rican, who plays in the Bear. She was rumored to get cast for a role in Spider-Man Brand New Day, and the rumor is that that's going to be Miles Morales' mother, which only makes sense that you're going to introduce Miles Morales at some point in this, because Tom Holland wants to move on to different things. I'm actually really surprised Tom Holland even came back for the fourth film, but he's going to want to move on to different things at some point. And where do you go? The next logical step is start, planting the seeds for Miles Morales. You already did that with Spider-Man Homecoming when you had the Prowler, his uncle, kind of introduced. You can introduce Miles' mother. Mr. Negative played a huge role in Aunt May's like kitchen. Aunt May had like a homeless shelter kitchen. I can't remember the name of it. It was in the comics. It was owned and run by Mr. Negative, and Aunt May run it. Well, now Aunt May is dead, so that, that's not really going to work. But what if, Peter runs it on his like side part-time job, whatever, Mr. Negative owns it, but Peter's kind of working there and all that stuff. And then, he comes to find, Mrs. Morales, maybe Mrs. Morales is the one running the kitchen or something. They can do so many different things. I really enjoy the Brand New Day idea. I want a more grounded Spider-Man. Brand New Day wasn't my favorite era in the comic books, but it introduced a lot of great elements, including Mr. Negative. And I think they can do a really good grounded story of Spider-Man. The two things that just catches me up is, where does a multiverse Mayday fit in, and where the heck does a Hulk fit in? And also, I just want to point out that whoa, I hit the wrong button. I just want to point out that, but please subscribe, guys. Please subscribe. But I just want to point out that, why does Peter need to keep having mentors? The first movie, you have Tony in there. You know how I feel about that. It felt like Iron Man Jr. Then the second movie, you have Maria Hill and Nick Fury. Then the third movie, you have all the other Spider-Mans. And then you have Doctor Strange. Like, can we just have a Spider-Man movie with Spider-Man? I know that's a crazy concept, right? Like, these movies, like the last one made over $1 billion. I think it's okay to have a MCU Spider-Man movie with just Spider-Man in it. Now, the Punisher makes a whole lot of sense. I'm perfectly fine with you guys adding Punisher into it, but the Hulk? Really? To me, the Hulk just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Yes, I like the idea of Rage Hulk coming back and all that, but in the context of things, like when I think about Spider-Man, I'm not thinking like, oh my God, I'm thinking about the Hulk, ladies and gentlemen. No, it's like, what are you guys spiking my iced coffee for? But yeah, that's sort of my thoughts on it. I think there's a lot of elements, and I could have like like an hour-long discussion on where they could take this. And this is coming from a guy who's a massive Spider-Man fan. I've read almost every Spider-Man comic book. I'm up to date with Spider-Man. I followed the character for 30 years. Like, I'm a massive fan of Spider-Man. I collected Spider-Man for many years, so I know where they can take these stories and where it kind of fits in. The question is, where does the Hulk fit in? Why is the Hulk in it? Is it just to generate more dollars for some reason? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But I will tell you this. If they're going to basically reenact the ending of Brave New World, where Red Hulk, hulks out and Sam has to stop him, but this time Peter has to stop Bruce from hulking out, I don't want to see that. Don't want to see that. Keep it a Spider-Man movie. One of the biggest issues with Brave New World was Red Hulk was in there and he was not necessary. Ross was necessary for the plot. Red Hulk was not necessary. Not as the main antagonist. It should have been Baron Zemo or someone close to that. But anyway, guys, that's my thoughts on it. Now I'm going to hit this little button. If you guys can please hit the like button, I would appreciate it. Subscribe, I would appreciate it even more. If nothing else, please just subscribe for the iced coffee. Please, it would mean a lot to me. Look how fat I am. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be alive. I could die tomorrow of a heart attack. Could you at least just do me a favor? Set my wife up for success and just hit the subscribe button and help her out a little bit, because I have nothing to leave her if I croak tomorrow. Anyway, this has gotten very dark, but I appreciate you guys sticking around. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you. Catch you guys next time.